How's it going? So, I'll tell you a little bit about heritability of IQ, and then I will tell you why I'm talking about it right now. Okay, so basically, IQ heritability works like it's kind of like a graph like this. So, if you have extremely smart parents, there is 70 to 80% chance that you're gonna be as smart as them as an adult, but only sometimes 0.2 to 0.4% chance in the infancy. Right? So, what does that tell us? That tells us that as time passes, your brain develops and you start to become more smart, as smart as your parents. But every child's brain develops at different points in time. Sometimes you have kids that are late bloomers, sometimes you have kids that are early bloomers, okay? So what we have is, okay, let me just get rid of the graph. Okay, so let me just do it this way. Okay, so we have smart parents, and child at 5 years old is an idiot. Does that mean that he inherited? Does that mean that he's gonna be an idiot in adulthood? No, because there's 80% chance that he will also be smart. But he is late. Well, five is not late, but we're talking about. You have to understand that every child brain development, I don't know, they call it metamorphosis, I think, or something like this, starts at different times. Okay, it will 100% happen once you reach adulthood, but when it happens, we don't know. Okay, so it could happen. You could be a complete moron at the age of 7 and a super genius at 18. Likewise, you could be a super genius at the age of 5, and then you peak at like 8, and then that's it. From now on, you just don't get. You kind of gradually become slightly smarter, but that's it. There is no leap. So this explains why people like Albert Einstein, if you ask his high school and primary school teachers, they said that child was not very smart when he was young. That's because his brain has not yet started to develop. But so why is it important to know that? It's because if you are, in primary school, you're in high school, you're in college, and you are not that smart, you have to remember that you could be a late bloomer. Now, if you're like an adult and you're not that smart, that's a yikes. Okay, that means you have to become nice person and use smart people around you to help you make decisions, by consultancy, by finance advice, by career advice, because you have to understand that it's a good idea to take advantage of other people's intelligence. It's like, I don't know, let's say you are a slightly shorter person and you need to pick up milk from the top aisle, you ask a tall person to help you. Okay? So the same shit happens with intelligence. Some people are just not very smart. You could be very creative, but not very smart. So to make accurate decisions, you need analytical capabilities. So if you don't have them, you can borrow them. All right. So I'm just saying that you need to look at yourself in the mirror and see where you're at. But again, if you're a teenager, child, or still early adulthood, and you're not super smart, it could be just that you're a late bloomer. Okay? Just be aware of this. Now, why am I saying this? That's because I read some comments and generally I don't want to I don't want to play League of Legends. I don't want to be part of League of Legends society because League of Legends is made up mostly, I'm talking about like 90, probably 9, I would go as far as to say 99%. Probably even more, like 99.9% are low human development index people that full-time League of Legends players. Like I'm talking hardcore League players. You're talking about mostly kids. Again, why I talked about IQ hierarchy, heritability, my apologies, is that kids, I say that kids are stupid, it doesn't mean that they're always going to be stupid. Do you understand? So I'm not really insulting them. I'm just saying that a fact that kids, on average, are kind of dumb. Right? They are. Because their brains just haven't developed yet. So they're going to say a lot of stupid shit. Which we're going to get to this in a second. Right? So, unemployed people, League of Legends, swamped with unemployed people. Right? People with mental issues, alcoholics, drug addicts, and alcoholics, people with no discipline. But honestly, no discipline on drug addicts. Like, people with no discipline is like, their emotion tells them to do something and they cannot use their logic to overpower their body to not do it or do it. Like, if something is boring, they cannot do it because emotions are just saying, this is boring, I'm not going to do it, and they don't do it. This is fun, I'm going to do it. And they do it. Like, smokers are a perfect example of this, because they know logically they should not be smoking. But they do it anyway, because they can't, their emotions are just, their emotional intelligence is too low, it's just like a muscle, it's too weak, so their emotions are controlling their body. As a result, they usually end up in, like, some kind of physical professions, like, I don't know, stacking boxes or cleaning, or, you know, because human body is designed to move, so they tend to be in those professions where it's very natural, you know, to move for human. They can't sit on one spot and read a book or read an article. It's just too difficult for them. But they're generally at the bottom of the society, right? So I just don't really want to associate with this type of society, right? That's why, it's one of the reasons why I don't really, I quit League is one of the reasons why I quit League. Like, you can see, this is my account, this is my main account, is Fruitlove, right? So I used to be Diamond, this was Season 4. Honestly, I was targeting Gold, but then Trinda got so buffed, it became quite easy to get Diamond, so I just got it. And then I kind of gave up. In here, past that point, I didn't really give a shit at all. I was kind of just... the reason why I got this here was because there was a very old... you could play, like, I think 5 matches, and you get placed. So I played 5 matches, and I got placed into Platinum, and that's it. I think I was like Platinum 3 or something like that, and then it decayed. It was, I don't remember the rules back then, but I basically played 5 matches that season, I think, and that's it. That was the end of it, I think. Or I was doing some experiments, I don't remember. But at this level, I gave up. Like, I didn't want to play anymore. And the reason for that is, one of them is honestly communities, because it's just there are too many people that are just very low human development index, and it's like you walk into, you know, a restaurant and it's a McDonald's, you know, like, and you want to be, you like food, but I mean, you don't want to be a whale, and like, most people in there are just like fucking whales, do you know what I mean? So you're just like, that's not the place I want to be in. I don't want to be influenced by this stuff, right? So, but look, this guy said, okay, very good comment. He says, why there are no comments on new videos? So he is referring to video, what was the video, one sec? Yeah, he's talking about this video here, where I talked about engagement optimized matchmaking update. Well, Riot's matchmaking algorithm update. And this guy, like, this is the reason why I switched off the comments, because just read what this guy said, this guy here, this one. So he said, because this is a terrible take on LoL, these videos are just rage bait. Okay? There isn't a winners queue and losers queue. So I highlight this in bold. We'll get back to it. Okay, but let's keep reading. If you have rating of 1000, ideally you get people 1000. But that is impossible. Now I'm going to straight away tell you that this is not correct, because if you look at League statistics, there are 30 million players playing League daily. So if you're playing silver, bronze, gold, platinum, finding balanced matches is not that difficult with such a gigantic player base. But the reason why it doesn't happen is because, again, people with low human development index are not very patient. So giving them a match so they can press the buttons and use their skins, and just because they're more interested in pressing buttons than actually playing the game. Do you understand? So supplying match quickly is Riot's priority. So they're prioritizing fast matches over quality matches, and that's over time. That's why, because that's what players prefer. If players preferred more quality matches, obviously Riot would have evolved to supply quality matches. But since player base demands fast matches over quality matches, that's what we get right now. And the reason for that is because people with low human development index are just not very patient. So Riot is like, we need to give them a match. It's like YouTube videos. Like, nobody is gonna watch my videos. If you're probably watching this video right now because it's like 10 minutes, you're probably gonna do well on live. Do you know what I mean? Because most people watch first 20 seconds and then they F off, and that's it. Right? So you have to understand that this applies. Again, YouTube is also very low human development index. I mean, look at the people on top of the algorithm. I mean, you're talking like questionable people, right? Really, really questionable characters. But they rank a lot higher than people with PhDs. But that's normal because the people with low human development index vote for them. So Riot has no choice but within 20 seconds or within a minute to supply anything, because these guys are going to quit. They're gonna get bored and they're gonna F off. Because they have no patience, right? Okay. Anyway, what he's saying, as time goes on, you will queue against people, and he's talking about range is going to start increasing. So we started 1000, now we're going to go maybe slightly lower or slightly higher. So the range starts to increase, either this way or this way. At the time game launches, if your team average is lower than the enemy team, right? So your team is lower than the enemy team. That means you have the losing team. Your team is the losing team. Then you are expected to lose. Which is, I know it's probably going to be a revolution for this guy. It's actually called loser's queue. If your team is expected to lose against the enemy team, you are in the loser's queue. That's the concept that we're referring to. So, but you see what I'm saying is that this guy did not pick this up. So what he said was basically, he said, there is no such thing as a winners or losers queue. There is only a system that puts you into a team that has lower chance of winning. To which I'm going to reply, that's called the losers queue. Duh. But again, I looked at this guy's channel. I mean, he's probably, my estimate, no more than 10. No more than 10. I mean, he plays Minecraft. I just clicked on it, looked at what he's he had like favorited videos. I just clicked on it real quick, and Minecraft, usual mumbo jumbo, you know, some popping and locking videos. It's like 10 years old probably, my guess. My guess is like 10. So you see, like, it's just like... Anyway, so you earn more MMR. Now, this part here is like, that's exactly how other ELO systems were created. No, not really. Because outside of esports, I don't think any other competition ever does it. Because you don't take a black belt karate master and put him into competition and then be like, oh, Mr. Black Belt Karate Master, we're very sorry. We could not find you. Worthy opponent, so go ahead and play against green belt. Do you understand? Like, well, let me just show you the belt. Yeah, so you have white belt is the lowest and black belt is the highest. So we're talking about green belt is like here. But we can take yellow belt, do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make a difference. What matters is that black belt should be in a competition against black belt. Brown belt is like high brown belt could potentially fight against black belt, but yellow and green, they just cannot, because it's just that the distribution of MMR is just way too... The skill difference is just way too high. So because if you do that, the outcome will be obvious. And that's what I'm saying, is that if you see my accounts... Yeah, you see like my accounts in here. These are kind of like bot games, but If you just look at Tryndamere, I mean 100% win rate. That's because you can spot the winner's queue. Because the outcome is obvious. And look, like 26 KDA, I mean, every game is a stomp. Every single game is a stomp. Because if you take black belts against green belts, if you take a team of black and brown belts against yellow and green belts, the black and brown belts will always win. Always. 99% probability that they're gonna win. That's why it's called the winners and losers queue. Because, but League of Legends system does that. They do that. They put teams that are just, there is no way this is balanced, right? And they do it anyway. And again, he's saying, I never heard of anyone saying that chess matches are rigged, because they don't do that in chess. They don't take a grandmaster chess master and be like, whoops, there's no war of opponent. Here, go play against some shitter, local shitter. Because they don't, because the grandmaster's going to win. Duh. Right? You don't have a rookie boxer. I made this example. You don't have a rookie boxer, and he goes into a queue, and they'll be like, whoopsie, we could not find a rookie, so go and try to beat up Mike Tyson. No, Mike Tyson is gonna decimate him. It's not even gonna be a match to watch. But they do that in esports all the time. And you can see that on in the video I made. I mean, you can look at it in the algorithm. I mean, it's in there. Whoops. Oh, it's the thing. And this is my favorite part, is when they literally tell you, well, we can't balance the matches, so we're gonna play it anyway. Where is it? Yeah, so the match proceeds without it anyway. They talk about team parity in here, so they're saying, whoops, if we can't find team parity, reasonable amount of time, team parity fails, so they can't balance the teams, they're just gonna proceed without it anyway. So what they're saying, what they're confessing to is, Mr. Rookie, we could not find another rookie for you, so go into the match against Mike Tyson. We know you're going to lose, but hey, if you're going to win, we'll give you more points. That's what they're saying. And for that reason, I'm saying, it's silly. It's silly. What I don't understand is, how can you get punished for losing a game to Mike Tyson? How can you lose? But, well, Riot doesn't really fine you too much. I mean, if you win, you get 25, 30 points. If you lose, it's 5 to 7, I think, or 8. So, I mean, even if Mike Tyson beats the shit out of you, you still only lose a very small amount. But if you win, I mean, you get 30. So it's worth. In case Mike Tyson comes in and he's I don't know, under drugs or something, and you can just knock him out then. But I don't know. I would not want to play in something like this. But overall, if you ask me why there are no comments, that's because of this. What is this comment? I mean, are you kidding me? I'm not angry. I'm not angry at all. I understand. That's why I made the heritability video, because, I mean, this guy is 10. I mean, the comment is not very smart, right? But there is, it doesn't mean that he's not a very smart person. It just means that he's a child, and, eventually he's probably going to become smart. So if he reads this comment, in 10 years, he'll be like, yep, whoopsie. Because there's some stuff I've done in my, when I was a child, I was like, yeah, that wasn't very smart. Alright, so this is the answer why there is no comments, and this is exactly it, because I don't really want to read this kind of stuff, Disturbing. Disturbing stuff. Another thing I want to bring up was, one time I went, it's a short story, so I went into it was a suntan studio. It was sun tanning beds, where you can get, it was 10 years ago. You can get suntan in there. So, in my region, there was 3 different salons that were offering it, and I was comparing prices. So I went into one salon, there was a lady in there, and I said, how much for 1 hour? So I said, 1 hour, equals 50 euro. But she said we have an offer. If you buy 2 hours, you get 1 hour for free. So I was like, oh, okay. So that means 1 hour is 33 euro and 33 cents. And she's like, no, 1 hour is 50 euro. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Like, because if I were to buy 2 hours, I get 1 hour for free. I have 3 hours, and I paid 100 euro. So if you divide 100 euro by 3 hours, you get 33 euro. But she was like, no, 1 hour is 50 euro. But you get 1 hour for free if you buy 2. Long story short, I was there for 10 minutes. It was a long time ago, so back then I thought that you could convince low human development index people. Like in arguments, you can't win against low human development index people because they can't reason. You have to understand they just could not reason. So basically, after 10 minutes of going back and forth, I went with apples. I said, sweetie, please listen to me. If you have 1 apple, right, that costs 1 euro, and I went with like apples, like it was like, okay, you have 1 apple, it costs 2 euro, let's say 2 euro, right? And you buy 3 apples, and it costs you 4 euro. What is the charge? What is the value per apple? So it's 4 divided by 3 apples, right? So what is it? 1.33, I think, right? Something like that. And she was like, no, 1 apple is 2 euro. Anyway, after 10 minutes of going back and forth, I tried apples, I tried chickens, I tried different variants, but she just couldn't compute. So I just said, okay, 1 hour is 50 euro, thank you for your time, bye bye. That's it. So do you see what I'm saying? Is that like if you try to, I don't want to read how this person is arguing that I am wrong in saying that 1 hour is 33 euro, where in fact it's 50 euro, but you get 1 hour for free, because it's like, I don't know, like it's very, it's kind of like it stuns you. Do you know what I mean? Like there is what was the video? 1 sec. Yeah, so something like this. You see, like Richard Dawkins. I'll link this video in the description below. But like, I mean, he's a scientist, right? So he's trying to explain to this guy who is a creationist. I mean, you can see this guy definitely probably majored in something like English history or religion studies. I mean, to major in English studies, you need to basically have a pulse. That's the entry criteria. To major in something like evolution, chemistry, you need to have like straight A's almost. So there is an incredible difference in the level of intellect and intellectual capabilities between the two people. So this guy is very low on human development index, and this guy is very high, right? So, but just listen to Richard Dawkins' reaction. I get reaction like this when I read stuff like this. It's like my brain just kind of stuns. Like I get stunned. You know what I mean? For like a couple of seconds. You know. Well, just listen to it. And I'm just.
Really don't want to be too personal, but how do I take a leak if I have to wait a few million years to do that?
Wait a minute, I don't understand.
Well, if I was to go to the toilet, you know,
yes.
I mean, how did we evolve with the ability to release waste if we were waiting for certain organs to develop?
Well, no, it's not really.
So, do you see what I'm saying? It's just like, it's just that you see, this guy is very smart, so he finds it very difficult to understand how these guys' brains work. And the problem, honestly, I still today don't understand how people cannot do maths, for example. I just, like, my brain just struggles to understand it, because to me it's so simple, but to them it's like so difficult. So overall, I prefer just, stick to STEM professionals, hang out with, because it's a lot less stressful. Because when you're dealing with this stuff, especially that's what I'm telling you. You see, like I was saying that it's better to play in winner's queue because it's not very stressful. Because when you're dealing with people that are very low human development index, they're feeders. Even when you win, it's not very pleasant because it's too difficult. It's so stressful. They're like a time bomb that is just you just want to finish the match as fast as possible, and it's just too stressful. So that's why the comments are off. It's just because to me, reading this is stressful, and I don't want to look at it. Again, today I didn't have comments off, so because I was doing something in a forum. So I went on my channel, checked it out, and then boom. And like it was just like I was like, again, I'm not mad, but I mean, it's kind of like this experience. It's like your brain just kind of farts. Well, not farts. You get stunned. You just like what? It was the same when I saw this YouTuber. He was like giving stock advice. He had like 500,000 followers. And this guy is like so bad at stock investment, and he was giving advice. I was just because another guy told me not to kind of like he's a scammer, so I usually put them into my blocker, YouTube blocker. I think it's one of those extensions in here. This one, I think, right? Channel blocker. Yeah. So I listened to his advice, and he said stuff that is so stupid. I had this reaction again. I was just like, my brain just kind of like stunned, and I was like, what? He basically said that you need to buy Nasdaq and then short triple leverage Nasdaq. That's what he said. It's equivalent to building a car where the brake and accelerator are the same pedal. So I guarantee you, if you take 20,000 Richard Dawkins scientists from like Oxford, Harvard, Stanford, like high level universities, and you put them into a room for 5 years, not a single one of them will come up with a solution to put brakes and accelerator in a car as the same pedal. Because we simply cannot think like that. This is why this stuff is kind of maybe a bit curious to scientists. That's why you see they are attending these interviews, because it's a mystery how this guy's brain operates. I still don't I don't understand it, honestly. I have no idea how it works. How can you kind of... It's the same thing, like I don't understand how do people cannot... why doesn't data sell itself? Like I just don't understand it. Like, but anyway, it's probably a topic for a different conversation. Anyway, I link this video in the description below. I link this video in the description below, and probably the queuing system, or maybe my accounts as well, so you can see that. At some point. And to answer the question why there are no comments, why a switch of comments is because that's why, like when you read something like this, it's just... Oh, anyway, but I'm not mad. I'm just saying that, it's not very smart what he wrote. He basically, he wrote like, there's no such thing as winner's queue. There's only a system that makes unbalanced matches, and one team is obviously going to win, and one team is obviously going to lose. Yeah, that's called the loser's queue. Revolution. Hallelujah. Take care. Bye-bye.